Hello friends, I'm Bill Hobson, and this is my friend Hershey. You may be asking yourself, why is a guy in golf apparel riding a horse crossing through a creek? Because our featured destination today is unlike any place you've ever visited. We are near Branson at Big Cedar Lodge, known as America's next great golf destination, showcasing the fun you can have on and off the course. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be a special show.
Welcome to Michigan Golf Live Television, celebrating our 20th season of shining the spotlight on the best places to stay, play, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. Stay connected 24/7 to MGL on Facebook, Twitter, our weekly radio show, and podcasts on the all-new ForeGolfersNetwork.com.
Hello friends, and welcome into a very special edition of our program. I'm Bill Hobson, and thank you for watching, because our road trip today brings us roughly 10 minutes from downtown Branson, Missouri to Big Cedar Lodge, known as America's next great golf destination. After all, where else would you find in one property and one family? Course is designed by Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Coore Crenshaw, Tom Fazio, and the only public course design in the world that comes from Tiger Woods. That course is called Payne's Valley, and coming up in just a few moments, we will give you an unprecedented sneak peek on Payne's Valley. So we have a lot of ground to cover today, both on and some fun off the course. As we get started though, we head over to one of the best known par 3 courses anywhere, designed by Jack Nicklaus. It's called Top of the Rock. And here to guide us through this one, as well as some of the other golf experiences here at Big Cedar Lodge, my friend Matt McQuarrie, who gets to call this place home. What a stunning setting we have here on Top of the Rock.
Yeah, it's a pretty spectacular par 3 courses. As far as par 3 short courses go, it's one of the few bucket lists in the world.
Well, it's one of the few that's ever hosted a professional tour event. You know it's good when that happens.
Absolutely. We're pretty lucky to have hosted a couple senior tour events here, and they've loved it every year.
So we have this collaboration between Mr. Nicklaus and Johnny Morris to put together this almost too beautiful to be true golf course. How do you walk people through? How do you describe Top of the Rock?
I mean, it's over the top. That's the best way to describe it.
Over the top of the rock.
It's a 9-hole par 3 course, but any one of these par 3s could be a signature hole on any 18-hole course. We've got beautiful water features, lakes, streams, and ponds, flashy bunkering, as well as amazing views of Table Rock Lake. So it's one round you're not going to forget. You're going to want to hit the greens here. As I said, there's a lot of water that can swallow up the holes, as well as some pretty large bunkering. So you'll need your A game if you're playing from the back tees.
When you finish your round at Top of the Rock, there is a fascinating, beautiful, stunning, kind of a cave trail that you can jump on as part of your greens fees for playing here. Could you describe what that's like?
Yeah, for each golfer, we give them a free round on the Lost Canyon Cave and Nature Trail, which is a 2-mile self-guided trail through the woods. You go by humongous waterfalls, and you actually go inside a real cave. At the front of that cave is a bar, so you can get your drinks and kind of enjoy your leisurely ride through the woods.
A convertible golf cart, and just driving through some of the most remarkable carvings and creations into a natural setting. I don't know how else to describe it except with the pictures that we're showing. It's spectacular.
It's pure Ozarks beauty, that's for sure.
When we wrap up that, we want to have a little dinner. A very special experience awaits here at Top of the Rock.
Absolutely. We have 2 beautiful dining venues here at Top of the Rock. The top floor of our restaurant is the Osage Restaurant, which is a beautiful steakhouse, indoors, reservations recommended, an amazing wine list, and the lower level is what's called the Buffalo Bar. More casual, first come, first serve with outdoor seating, bar snacks, cocktails, appetizers, as well as a full menu, with 2 amazing options with both of them having views of the lake.
There's a little something called gooey butter cake, which seems to be specific to this region. What is the magic of this magical dessert?
It's in the name, it's the butter. The ooey gooey butter cake is as
so
it's
it is
known.
the butter.
The ooey gooey butter cake. It's a lot of butter and a lot of sugar, and it's hard to go wrong there, but it's a delicious kind of a regional dessert from Missouri.
As soon as you lick your plate clean, you step right onto an elliptical for about 3 hours to take care of that.
Yeah, but it's worth it. You know, you gotta treat yourself, and if you're gonna treat yourself, Top of the Rock's the place to do it.
After a wonderful dinner, dessert, and some ooey gooey butter cake, we leave Top of the Rock and head up on the mountain to Mountaintop, where Gary Player did something really special up here, this close to heaven, I think, Matt McQuarrie. How do you describe Mountaintop?
Mountaintop's a 13-hole par 3 walking-only course designed by Gary Player, and just like the name says, it sits atop of the mountain. You have views in all directions, but it's a really simple walk. It's under 2 miles, push carts are provided, so it's a great way to connect people with nature.
Well, and Mr. Player, of course, has dedicated his life to fitness, and who else would put together a walking course that really, by the way, is quite walkable?
Gary Player really had the fitness aspect in mind to get players out and moving and actually carrying a bag or pushing a bag. And couple that with Johnny Morris's vision just to get people enjoying the outdoors. It was kind of a perfect marriage for the design side.
Now, we learned this over at Top of the Rock, that a par 3 course doesn't mean pitch and putt. Here, the first hole, I think, was 110 yards, and we'll get all the way up to nearly 200, so there is something for everybody, even if you want to go all the way back to the tips.
If you tip it out, it can be a challenging par 3 course. It requires some skill off the tee. But the nice thing is on this course is it's very open. There's a ton of zoysia playing space. There's no forced carries. We've done junior tournaments out here with players as young as 5 years old. So you can really bring beginners out here and have them have a good time.
So we're done with Mountaintop, and once again, I owe Matt lunch because of a wager I should not have placed, and this looks fairly good.
Oh, it's really good. Having barbecue in Missouri is one of the staples around here.
Well, anybody who's familiar with Famous Dave's knows this is really good food. Now, I do have silverware nearby, but I'm really not planning to use it. So we're going to take a break. When we come back on the program, we introduce you to a really cool place called Dogwood Canyon, and there is a lot more golf straight ahead, including our Ozarks National, Buffalo Ridge, and the Tiger Woods designed Payne's Valley as we continue from here at Big Cedar Lodge after this. Oh my goodness. Can I have some more of this?
Yeah, I'll let you have a little bit more of my lunch. Yeah.
That's very nice of you. Welcome back to the show and our very special visit to Big Cedar Lodge near Branson. Now, we will head back to the golf course in just a moment, but one of the things we most enjoy doing is showcasing the fun you can have off the course. And Shelby Stevenson is the Director of Marketing and Public Relations, and we are in a special place called Dogwood Canyon. I've never visited anything close to it. What's it like here?
Well, Bill, you know, first of all, I just want to say this is what we in the Ozarks call a bluebird day.
Bluebird, I like
this
that.
This is a bluebird day. You can't get better weather than this. You know, we're looking down and seeing dozens of families just enjoying the canyon. And Dogwood Canyon is such a special place. It really is kind of, in my opinion, the best kept secret in the Ozarks because this is just a hidden 10,000 acre paradise that Johnny Morris, founder of Bass Pro Shops, has really poured his conservation mission into. And this place connects families with nature better than just about anywhere else. We offer fly fishing, which you'll get to do here in a little bit, Bill, horseback riding, and even wildlife tram tours where you actually cross the Missouri border into Arkansas and mingle with herds of bison, elk, and whitetail deer. It's a really special place.
Shelby, thanks for showing it to us.
Thanks for being here, Bill.
Oh, anytime. Trust me, we'll take that invitation whenever it's extended. And now let's head back to the golf course and show you another reason that Big Cedar is America's next great golf destination. You know it's a special golf destination when during your round you run into something called the Comfort Station, which is more than just a restroom. We've got snacks. We've got hot dogs on the rotisserie, all sorts of knickknacks, and a drawer labeled fresh and tasty ice cream. Are you kidding me? This is outstanding. Oh, there's fresh and tasty ice cream in here. So I'm gonna grab a little something here to head out on the porch as we get ready to introduce you to Ozarks National, the Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw masterpiece that has been receiving rave reviews, and I mean rave reviews. As we step out here on the porch, Matt McQuarrie joins me again to talk about this wonderful place. I'm gonna have a little dessert.
Is one of those for me?
Oh, definitely. I would never eat all the desserts on my own. And so as we sit down to talk about this incredible course, the accolades that it has received are, I guess they're as good as you can get.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of it. So last year we won Golf Digest Best New Public Course in North America. So that's one of the highest honors you can win. And the first time it's ever been bestowed to a Missouri course, obviously.
Really?
And we're the only Missouri Coore and Crenshaw course. And also this year we actually won Best Public Course in Missouri as well. So we're starting to get the notoriety for this course. I think it's only going to grow as we introduce Payne's Valley as well.
Well, in the program today, this is the first 18-hole course our viewers would have seen. We've already showcased Top of the Rock and Mountaintop. So what did Coore and Crenshaw do with this property here on the mountaintop?
It's pretty impressive. It's a very kind of rustic, almost link-style golf course. Being in the Ozark Mountains, it's really tough to make a golf course that's walkable, but they were able to do that here by building the course at the same level on top of a giant line of ridges. So you basically play out and back on these ridge tops with the tees pretty conveniently located next to the greens. So if players want to walk, they can, which is not a common thing for this area.
This course has hosted the Missouri State Am. You've had the best players in the state at the college level come here. What are you hearing from them as they play around here?
I think it's how different it is compared to other courses. I mean, you don't have many courses like this in the Midwest, and especially not in the Ozarks. So it's kind of a gem here, and it sticks out just from having its own style and playing aspects that are more like links golf. It's a lot of variety, and I mean, up here you have amazing views of the Ozark Mountains. So it's really kind of, as we say, nature golf at its finest.
From here at Ozarks National, we're going to head back over to Dogwood Canyon, and it's time for me to try my hand at a little something that, to be honest with you, I'm really not that good at. We leave the golf course, we come to the river. We're going to have some fun. Brian Hoffmeyer is the ultimate fly fishing guide, and I have to tell you, I'm honored that you brought me to the Kids Cave.
Kids
It makes
Cave,
me feel
that's
like
right.
this is a really advanced level of fly fishing.
Well, I'll tell you, the reason I brought you to Kids Cave, I know you mentioned you didn't want to have me catch the fish for you because you'd feel like a 5-year-old. It's not because the fish are easy to catch here.
Yeah.
This cave over here is actually only 18 inches tall, 300 feet deep, so only kids can go in there. So Bill, you're not going in there today.
What is it about fly fishing that appeals to so many? I mean, I know it's peaceful, I know it gets you out to enjoy nature, but there's something about those who fly fish, and it is almost a religion for them.
It is. It's an art. It's an art form. It really is. It's kind of a dance. You've got to have a rhythm to it. It's much more difficult than just coming out with a spinning rod or a casting rod. You actually, it takes some skill and some learning, and then preserving that. You can't just step away and come back a year later and have the same skills, much like golf.
I was going to ask if there are any skills from golf that would apply to what we're about to do.
Yeah, I think a couple things that would translate directly. You want to have quiet wrists when you're casting a fly rod. When you're casting, you've got to have the rhythm because you have a backswing and a forward swing.
It's as simple as that, folks. In TV time, this only took about 90 seconds. In real time, 92 seconds.
Go ahead and give me a little slack there. Beautiful rainbow trout.
I've never actually caught a fish on camera before, so this is history for our program. Whenever the name of Tom Fazio is attached to a golf course, it instantly captures my attention because he's one of my favorite course designers in the world. And so here in the family of championship courses at Big Cedar Lodge, when you talk about Buffalo Ridge, you talk about Fazio, and you talk, Matt McQuarrie, about excellence. Love this place.
Absolutely. Buffalo Ridge is a great Tom Fazio design. It's centered in the Ozark Mountains. We've got beautiful hills, lakes, streams, really beautiful nature around there. There's actually live buffalo on the first tee. So going along with the name, Buffalo Ridge, we have live buffalo on the course.
We don't have time to talk about all 18 holes, but I'd love to hit a few of my favorite highlights, including number 9, this par 3 with some teeth.
Number 9 is a challenging par 3. It's actually called the Intimidator around here.
It works on me.
It's a long par 3 carrying over water and some exposed rock. So off the tee, it presents a challenge to the golfer's eye, but with a good shot, it can be an easy par.
Now when we get to number 14, I really believe it's in my personal, maybe all-time top 5 favorite holes anywhere in the world. I love 14. To you, what jumps out at you?
Probably the length of 14. It's a long par 5, definitely a 3-shot hole, but really beautiful. Your tee shot's hitting over a stream, and your approach shot's going over another water feature with a beautiful Amish bridge on the left side, so it's a really memorable hole.
And just when I think 14 might be among the prettiest holes I've ever played, I come to 15 and have a whole new reset on that definition. 15 is a stunner.
15 is the signature hole at Buffalo Ridge. It's not an overly long par 4, but it does require some tee shot accuracy. There's a creek and some waterfall systems on the right, so the players need to keep the tee shot left. The green is elevated, so you're going to probably have a shorter iron or wedge into the green, and you're going to keep that left to avoid that water feature and the bunkers around the green.
I want to jump ahead to 17. I love this little 3-par. It's not terribly long. I think it's probably 170-ish from the tees we're playing. And the setting where that green is with the creek in front, the caves behind it, it's just very special.
It is an eye-catching par 3. Behind the hole is actually a natural cave and spring that are coming out, feeding a creek that wraps around the green and below it.
And we could go on and on here at Buffalo Ridge talking about every hole. Just know this, what Mr. Fazio did here is more than just stamp a name on it. He's really put his artistic excellence into the design. It's received some high accolades over the years.
Absolutely. After him and Johnny Morris got together to kind of finish the remodel of this course, it's really garnered some national attention for its work, and really a beautiful course in the Missouri Ozark Mountains.
It's hard to list all of the reasons one would make a trip to Big Cedar Lodge, but views like this would certainly be among them, and we're just getting started. When we come back, we will showcase for you, for the first time ever, the only Tiger Woods public course design in the world. It's called Payne's Valley, and if you think this view is spectacular, wait until you see that golf course. Welcome back to the program and our special look at Big Cedar Lodge. Now, to this point in the show, you've seen Top of the Rock, Mountaintop, Ozarks National, Buffalo Ridge, and the magic that is Dogwood Canyon, all part of your experience when you visit Big Cedar Lodge. But now the moment you've been waiting for, as we head back to the golf course for the first ever look at Payne's Valley, the only public course designed by Tiger Woods anywhere on the planet. I don't think there's anybody on the planet who knows Payne's Valley as thoroughly as Todd Bone. He is the head of agronomy here and has lived this course from day one to where we are now. So, what's it been like?
It's been awesome, Bill. Welcome back to the Ozarks. Glad to have you guys here. You know, we're on a beautiful day today. You can't beat this day, and it's been a real pleasure being able to bring this project to fruition and get it to this point. You know, we got a great group of guys with me that probably know the project better than I do. My team that's working on it every day, putting it together, and obviously there's nobody that knows it more than John Morris, for sure. So, but we've had a lot of fun doing it, and it's a spectacular place. We can't wait to welcome everybody here.
It had to be an incredible challenge to go from initial concept to where we are now. What's that timeline look like? And really, what kind of a process is that? How hard is it?
It was a challenging site for sure.
Yeah, there's rock everywhere.
There is, and that presents its own challenge. It's a long process. I mean, you know, this isn't a quick process. This isn't something that you start out very, you know, and it turns around and goes in a matter of a couple days or anything. You know, we've been working on this project for about 1.5 years now, and or actually probably a little longer than that. But as you can see, the time that it took is all worth it because we get the end product with what we got.
Well, it's quite remarkable, and I think a lot of our viewers would be interested to know how much input Tiger has had into this project. Is this really his creation?
It is. Tiger is very much involved. I mean, the team of Tiger and John Morris together on this is really, really cool to see. You know, John's out here almost every day, walking the hills, walking the course, meeting with Tiger's team, meeting with us here on site daily, putting in his input. But Tiger's very much involved, has been on his visits. He's made some tweaks. Him and John have worked together on making tweaks on golf holes and have done things, and it's actually really cool. That's probably one of the number one questions I get from everybody is you know, how involved, and he's very involved.
Well, I want to give our viewers a bit of a tour of Payne's Valley, and you know this place, so let's talk strategy as well as what's unique about some of the grasses that might be a different playing experience.
Well, as your golfers show up to number one here to play at Payne's Valley, they will notice that it's a wide playing corridor. We've always talked about it, and now actually you can see it. There's a lot of acres here, a lot of acres of fairway, a lot of places to play the golf ball so you won't lose it.
We start to wind down into the valley a little bit. What's happening on 2, 3, 4, 5, and on?
So you're going to get to number 2. It's a very challenging downhill par 3. It'll challenge the big hitters or the short hitters. There's plenty of tee options on that hole, but I think the back tee is around 240 yards back there. And the big green, got a spine in the middle. You know, the greens are very subtle here. They don't have a lot of real drastic movement in them, but they're very subtle and they're good sized playing surfaces. Then you'll go to 3, and 3 is a short par 4. That will challenge, it'll get your big hitters to thinking that they can drive that green potentially, and some might, but it's a challenging green complex with a bunker right in front, a couple bunkers around it. That'll catch your ball if you don't hit it right on the number. And then you go to number 4, which is one of my favorite golf holes on the property. It's a par 5 downhill. It's got a natural creek in the front, green tucked up underneath the rock feature there that you see from the beauty. It's just got a real real welcoming feel to it. It's got bunkers on the landing area, and you've got a real big risk and reward option, which I really like, which I think golfers will really appreciate. Then you go to number 5, which is probably one of our holes that's been photographed and videoed the most that people have seen. It's a par 3 over the lake, and got a nice wooden bridge that takes you over there to it, and just a beautiful setting down there in the corner of the property. Big green, but it's a lot of fun to play that golf hole. And then one of our picturesque holes is number 8, which is a par 5, playing right down the ridge. When you sit up at the clubhouse, you look out and you see that golf hole running down the way. It's got probably the smaller of our greens on our property on that hole, but you'll be able to bomb it off the tee, a long tee shot, and then your second shot is where that hole becomes a little fun and a little interesting if you want to try to go for it. It's a heavily bunkered hole up by the green.
Now, Todd, when you stand on 10T and look at this beautiful par 3 sitting down in the valley, water feature behind it, if you didn't know already that you were on a special golf course, this is a pretty good reminder.
Yeah, 10 is a very special hole. You know, it's got a lot of characteristics to it. You see nature at its finest there. You see the water, you see the waterfall, you see the pools. You got all the undulation change around you. You can see out down into the valley of the rest of the golf course. And remember earlier when I was talking about how Tiger Woods' involvement in the golf course, number 10 has a special meaning because Tiger actually drew that hole, components of that hole, for us out here on a site visit, and drew that hole up kind of like you see it along with John. So both of them had their input on that golf hole, and it was actually really cool.
Number 11, it looks fairly straightforward. Looks like you've got a good chance to maybe grab a birdie or a par here, unless you're fighting the lefts.
If you fight the lefts, you're going to be in trouble for sure. But yeah, 11 is a very inviting hole, golfer-friendly hole in the sense we feel like all of them are friendly, but it doesn't have as much teeth as some of the others. But it'll be predominantly with a crosswind into it most of the time. You know, it'll be a little bit of a challenge there. But if you, like you said, if you have the lefts, you're going to be in trouble. So I think number 12 is a really cool hole. I say this tongue-in-cheek, but I feel like that golf hole reminds me a little bit of number 10 at Riviera. It's a shorter par 4 that the big hitters may be able to challenge it, but everything falls away from the green to the left and down in, and it's got a little catch area down there. But I feel like it really resembles that hole at Riviera a lot. But I think we'll see players eventually at skill levels try to challenge that hole and have a little fun up there with some of the bunkering and some of the fall-offs.
As we finish on 12 and we head over to 13, we're now entering a part of the course that not many people have seen yet. What's 13 like? 13, I coined the phrase, and this is my phrase only and my phrase only, but I equate it, I tell people it's the green mile. That sucker's 650 yards long, uphill, par 5. It's gonna have all you want, and there's not gonna be a whole lot of people get home in 2 on that golf hole. And it's got a really big challenge, but the cool part of that hole is once you get up into the approach shot, you start seeing the mountaintop clubhouse off in the distance. You start seeing the valley of all the other holes on the back 9 here. The old saying that the best things in life are worth the wait certainly applies here at Payne's Valley. Our tour today stops at number 13, but coming very soon is a look at the rest of this incredible Tiger Woods design. In fact, the designer himself, Tiger Woods, is putting together a very special September event that will serve as the official unveiling of that final home stretch. And while we can't show it to you just yet, take my word for it, the final stretch on Payne's Valley is unbelievable. Each year when we come here to Big Cedar Lodge, we're reminded of the excellence, the tradition, not just on the golf course, but off. And we've looked for creative ways to round out the program that would top what you're about to see. We haven't even come close. Welcome to a classic celebration of Americana, of patriotism, and of memory making offered only at places like this. This is the Sunset Celebration at Big Cedar Lodge, and this is how we'll say farewell. Thanks for watching.